Hey guys, so I thought that I would start with um, just an overview of how I read the Ascendant and do like a little drop in of each of how I might explore each of the ascendants in the signs, and then we can, maybe chat about it, how that might work for everybody. So, for starters, when I'm reading a chart, I look at the ascendant. And if you have your chart up, you can see all the way over to the left, there's like a thicker line. And usually it has like AC next to it. Sometimes it says ascendant. And this is the line that shares with you what sign the sun was rising in at the moment of your birth. So depending on where that is in your chart, it has a certain meaning. And the way that I read that is your ascendant is the energy you're here to embrace in order to become the fully embodied main character of who you're meant to be in this life. So that's how I like reading it. For me, astrology is all about becoming empowered. And in terms of style, what I've noticed is that this can be one of the areas that's like the key to at least energetically unlocking how you approach style in the most embodied way possible. So, for instance, my ascendant is in Aries, and that's all about being impulsive and fiery. It's a warrior kind of sign, but it also means like being really in touch with your senses and like what makes me feel alive. Like that's a really good question for somebody who's got an ascendant in Aries. And for the longest time, like I ignored that. And well, really, I did one of two things. I either like fully created all of my identity into that vibe, which was like, for me, it was expressed through dramatic intensity, warrior like energy. But then it wasn't honoring some of the other parts of my chart that were also important. And so then when I got into style, I was just like, okay, I have to ignore this. Like this impulsive, crazy part of me needs to like just take a back seat. And only until recently have I realized that like my style really does feel incomplete without this energy. So let me go through. I'll just do like a high overview of how I might read each of the ascendants in the signs, and I just did a bit of an overview for Aries. But things you might look for is whether or not you have dramatic essence, especially if you have a strong, if there's a planet next to it. That's a fierce planet. So, like if Mars is next to it, or even Jupiter, in Aries, I would say that dramatic energy or even features might show up. But also because it's youthful and it leans, I would say Aries leans more, um, it's probably neutral, but yang leaning. So, like, I was going to say Gamine, but ingenue could be a thing too, just because it's a youthful position. I don't think I have ingenue in my features, but I have a very strong Aries. Um, but it's also, I'm not going to get into this. You don't need to read my chart. Um, okay, so ascendant in Taurus. What would be very, very, very important for an ascendant in Taurus is to feel comfortable and probably a little bit elevated. You're here to embrace knowing that you're worthy of resources, knowing that you are worthy of having a space that feels luxurious and calming for your nervous system, like luxurious, posh, elevated, us, like respected, are all things that would be Taurus related. Um, what else do I want to say? The essences that I've been associating with this and what I've been noticing is that Gamine seems like a very high likelihood if you have strong Taurus. But also Earth because it's an Earth sign. I'm sorry, natural because it's an Earth sign. And then style necessities. No matter what, the priority if you have a strong Taurus and really an ascendant. So the thing that you might be here to embrace is a bit of elevation, a bit of posh, like letting yourself like I've been laughing because there's been a few readings I've done so far, but like there was an archetype for Taurus, it would be mob wife, right? Like you need to like have luxury be a part of your style. But what I've been telling everybody is like luxury means something different for every person. So understanding your version of luxury. And so as I go through these, those are the things that I would notice is like, okay, what when I say warrior energy, if you have an ascendant in Aries, what does that mean for you? What does it mean to be fierce? Because your version of that is going to be different than mine, and so forth and so on. So let's hop over to Gemini. If you have an ascendant in Gemini, you like style systems will be fun for you to learn, but don't let yourself get too bogged down in them, unless you have a really strong Saturn. If you want to know that, you can look at your chart, see where Saturn is, see if it's got a strong placement. But generally speaking, like having fun, exploring, like Gemini is all about like getting new information. So if you imagine Aries is like the spark of life, you're here, you're born, you're breathing, you're experiencing what it's like to be in this body, right? That's Aries energy. Taurus is like when you get in your crib, like now I need to be swaddled, I need to be taken care of, I need everything to feel cozy and comfortable and safe. That's Taurus energy. Gemini is first day of school. It's like, what? I get to go out into this world and I get to like explore things and it's fun and it's like there's a lot of identity exploration if you have a high Gemini placement. And if your ascendant is in Gemini, that those are things to embrace. Like embrace learning all of the things, but don't necessarily get bogged down in saying like, okay, I must say that I'm this. It will be heavily important for a high Gemini energy to be like, okay, if my three priorities are, comfort, elevation, and adventure, you need to figure out what that means for you and let yourself have the flexibility to every day maybe express those priorities in a different way, you know? Okay, so style essences that I might associate with Gemini, sun. Again, because we're still in the youthful part of the spectrum here, gamine and ingenue seems to be likely. Sorry, my brain just went off into several different directions. But anyway, Gemini, there could be ethereal because it's our first air sign. Although I associate like ethereal if you have a lot of air and water, it's that kind of vibe. But there could be like some bookish type of tendencies. I'm not talking about essences anymore. But essences could be, again, I definitely see ingenue as a part of Gemini. I would not be surprised if, again, either an energy or essence or even how you approach style has got like a youthful, playful, like wanting to be intriguing kind of thing. All right, Cancer. Cancer is the sign of the mother, the nurturer. If we're going through those life chapters, right? Aries, you're born. Taurus, you're in the crib. Gemini, you're going to school. Cancer is you come back home from school and you want a nice warm meal and you want to be hugged by mom and you want to feel comforted and safe and secure. It's like this is where a lot of nervous system stuff can come up. Like, what does it mean for you to feel at home is going to be super, super, super important. If your ascendant is in Cancer as well, this is an energy that you may not you are here to embrace what it means to nurture yourself. I have seen this a lot in Cancers and in Virgo ascendants. We'll get into Virgo in a second, but this will relate. You are here to take care of yourself. For Cancer, it's your emotions. It's what makes you like feel okay on the inside. And honoring that will matter. So again, in terms of style roots, like style roots are interesting because it's so much about like your expression of something, but like in terms of essences, because it's a water sign, we're seeing romantic, definitely possibly ethereal, but definitely like there's softness, there's a need for flow, there's a need for like relaxation. Everybody who's had strong Cancer placements, it's like we need to be comfortable. We need to feel like we can feel at home in any given circumstance. But I do think that romantic or soft features definitely plays a role. Okay, so let's go over to Leo. Leos, like, I don't know if if I've done a reading and you're a Leo ascendant, let me know. Or, because I don't know if I've had a Leo ascendant yet. Because it's like sometimes I'm like, do you guys even need a reading? Although if your ascendant is in Leo, maybe you really struggle with letting yourself feel like you're here to take up expression and space and to be creative and to like throw yourself out into the world a bit. It's another fire sign. I do think that Gamine and Ingenue can play a part here if you have a strong Leo situation, or again, that Leo in ascendant. And so things to experience or to embody is like letting yourself express, letting yourself be like creative and showy, like show off, man. Like that's a part of what you're here to do. And that's so fun. So whatever that means for you, that could be in terms of style roots, that could relate to fire, sun. Sun might be a big one. I find that if you have a strong Leo or Aquarius, sun is probably high up there for you. But it can also be like, because Leos sometimes really like to be sexy and like, so fire could be one. And again, for essences, because it's fire, you could have dramatic, but you might have dramatic and ingenue, and so it's like, how do I express that? Gamine could be a thing here because they can be kind of cheeky. But yeah, those are the ones coming to my mind for that. All right, let's go over to Virgo. So Virgo ascendant, again, what I was saying about Cancer, you are here to nurture yourselves, like, and very specifically your body. Your body is important. Everybody that I've seen who has a Virgo ascendant, how clothes feel on your body, like texture is really important. I didn't say this about Taurus ascendant, but so far for Taurus ascendant, like you like having collars that are too tight, or material that's itchy, or like sleeves that are too tight, like tend not to work. There's a need. So that's the case for Taurus. For Virgo, it's like the same but amped up. It's like if it doesn't feel good on your body, like you shouldn't be wearing it. Like that's a part of your style journey. Yeah. What else? So nurturing your body is just a really important thing for you. You may have had a tendency to ignore your body, to ignore what you're like. I've seen this a couple times now where Ascendant in Virgo is like, what makes my body feel good isn't important to my style. Like, no, that is a part of your style journey. Like your style is sacred and your body is sacred, and how clothes feel on you is a part of your expression of self. And it will be important. I also, if you have a strong Virgo, I want to know if you have witchy energy. Earthy witchy energy. Like to me, this is earth sign. This is absolutely natural as an essence, could be high up there. There is a softness to Virgo, but it's very practical. Like stone shows up a lot for a strong Virgo, but like stone and earth could be style roots. And then again, if you do have a strong Virgo, you could have like you might have something like natural, but also romantic, because like there's softness happening with the natural, if that makes sense. Okay, let's hop over to Libra, my sweet, wonderful ascendant and Libra ascendants. You're here to embrace beauty. You're here to embrace the aesthetic. You're here in your aesthetic. Understanding what beauty means for you is so important. Ask yourself, you know, what does it mean for me to feel beautiful? And like an ascendant Libra is like the quintessential like story arc of a glow up. Like you get the glow up at some point, because a lot of times Libra ascendants, like you don't feel like you're worthy of being beautiful, or like there's something in the way of it, unless you have some planets that are like really supporting your ascendant. So yes, figure out what's beautiful for you. Figure out what feels like harmonious for you. And like I do Libras. I do think that there's moderation here. There's classic essence here. There's a need for like whether it's classic essence or two paradoxical essences in the blend that ends up creating a kind of moderate look. Like for instance, I have a decent amount of Libra in my chart, but I don't think that, and I get told that I have classic, but I actually think that I have two opposing um, essences that create moderation. And if I do have classic, maybe it's my fourth. Again, that is neither here nor there because I do know that it's important for me with a decent enough amount of Libra that I want to look. I generally want to look put together. I generally want to look aesthetically pleasing and appealing. Like I want other people to notice me and be like, "Oh, she's got like a look together," right? That'll be important for Libras. And classic essence might be a part of your journey, but certainly moderation. I do see mushroom style root showing up here if you have a strong Libra. um yeah, okay. And then let's hop over to Scorpio. Oh, my Scorpios, do I feel you? How for Ascendant and Scorpio, like you're here to embrace like your intensity, your sensuality. You're here to embrace like kind of the darker, depthier parts. Like you want to be taking like there's a need to be mysterious potentially. There's a need to like allow yourself that mysterious sensuality. I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart. This was also something that I fought for a very long time. But like generally speaking, you probably might lean towards darker colors, or you fight darker colors, and you should bring some into your wardrobe because, again, that ascendant can be energy that we fight. And obviously, I'm talking about the ascendant energy, but really, I'm just going through all the signs and the different vibes that each of them give. So, Scorpio, like like a need for, yeah, intensity, depth, style roots. Absolutely, the moon style root for edgy, fire style root for sensuality. Dramatic can be a thing here, but because it's a water sign, maybe ethereal. There's certainly like a something here that says I want to be seen, but not necessarily touched. Like you can't come near, kind of thing. Like you'll never be able to see all of this. Kind of vibes. And if you have that and Aries at the same time, talk to me because that's been like a whole thing to figure out. Because Aries is like the opposite. It's like throw yourself out there. Um, anyway, they're both really intense signs, so that helps. Let's hop over to Sagittarius. Oh, the aesthetics for Sagittarius. First of all, what's important here is that you're here to explore. You're here to adventure. Like if you were, if I was reading somebody's ascendant in Sagittarius, the first thing I'd be like, you're here to um, search for truth, and through that by experiencing many things. This can be physical travel, but it can also be like reading lots. Like Sagittariuses are often bookworms. Um, because they want information, but they also want to be transported. They want to experience different worlds, different cultures, different foods, things like that. So in terms of style, the aesthetics that I've noticed here are interestingly enough bohemian, because you would think bohemian's earthy, but the more I think about it, Sagittarius is a fire sign, but it's like a grounded fire sign. And I think about bohemian and I'm like, oh, that does have like some fire like energy, doesn't it? In terms of style roots, but it's earthy because it's grounded. And then I also see like professor styles with Sagittarius. But then again, like there could be fire because it's a fire sign. There's also like, in terms of essences, I would say, I mean, the essences have shown up more as I read somebody's whole chart because there's so many variation, like so many things that can happen, and almost nobody has like all Sagittarius, right? And if you had all Sagittarius, I'd be like, well, you'd probably have the three yang dominant essences like natural, gamine, and dramatic, because that's all very fire, very masculine. Um, that would be my instinct there. But in terms of like what a style priority for you might be, I do feel like you need to feel free. Freedom might be one of like your top style priorities, and then asking yourself, what does that mean for you? Um, so yeah, let's go over to Capricorn. Love a good Capricorn energy. This is like to me, I see Capricorn energy. It's also mob wife energy, but it's far more like CEO boss. This is like mountain style root hardcore, and also like I'm not to be messed with. You can't mess with me. It's having their ducks in a row. They know their stuff. If you have a strong Saturn, chances are you have some of this in your style vibe too. Um, and so yes, what does power mean for you? What does it mean for you to not be messed with? What does it mean for you to look like you have your stuff together? That's all Capricorn energy. If you have a lot of Capricorn energy, like you look friggin' great in a blazer, you look great in a trouser, unless you have something else going on in your chart that like really, um, well, I would say that you still do, but then you might have other things you have to incorporate. Like, say you had Capricorn, and let's say you also had, I wanted to say Taurus because it's like they're they're similar in vibes, but Taurus is like a lot more youthful, or even Gemini, like want to have fun. Like it's like so different, right? Like how do you take those two energies and put them together? Well, it's like, well, maybe you wear a blazer, but you wear a super fun t-shirt underneath that's like bright and kind of interesting, right? And plus, the question to ask for you is like Capricorn doesn't want to show up to a if your career is in the arts and you show up looking like a CEO of a baseball team, like that's might not work, right? You want to be respected in the field that you're in. And so the story you want to tell is like, how do I create the impression of being respected in this environment? That's a part of the story you're here to tell. Okay. Did I say essences? Natural because it's another earth sign, but also dramatic, power. Um, I haven't said romantic for many of these. If you're a water sign, I would say probably romantic or ethereal, right? Softness, ingenue is going to be any of those earlier signs. It can mean any of those earlier signs, but also like um, natural is going to be your earth signs. I know that I'm missing things. I'm sorry that I'm like not probably hitting all of the things, but that's why we're going to talk about it in the comments. Let's hop over to Aquarius. You have you have the sun style root most likely. Like if you have a strong Aries, or I'm sorry, a strong Aquarius, like you're here to be unique and express like the strange, quirky, whimsical, interesting, different parts of you. Like it's all about being unique. So what does being unique mean for you? Um, and again, if you have your ascendant Aquarius, this might be like the the freak flag that you don't let fly kind of vibe, right? That might be the story that you're here to like, how do you honor that different part of you? How do you bring that into your expression? If you have a lot of Aquarius energy, also I've been seeing this for other signs too. We'll have to talk about this in terms of hair color at some point. But Aquarius energy, like doing something funky, doing something like if you have um like an interesting haircut like that's geometrical, or like yeah, geometrical shapes could be a big thing for how you like to express yourself. And since this is an air sign, sometimes I do see ethereal, but certainly like having fantasy, not as much as Pisces, but like I have seen that be a theme in terms of expression, but like whimsical, like it's more like Neverland versus Lord of the Rings, right? Pisces is going to be more like high fae. Actually, like if you read ACOTAR or any of those like fae books, like that's more Pisces, and then Aquarius is more Neverland. Um, and yeah, style roots, sun. I've seen flower here too, but it's like you want to like for you what's really the most important, bright colors could be really important. I didn't even talk about colors for all of this. Another video for another time. So Aquarius is going to be about like how can I be interesting and quirky and different, and you're here to embrace that as especially if it's part of your ascendant. um I have so much I could say about all of these. Let's hop over to Pisces. Pisces, my ethereal, whimsical, but like in a silk in the breeze kind of way, right? Like you are here to understand your softness. You are here to feel like clothes are soft on your skin and that things are flowing. Like this is like if you have a lot of Pisces, the possibility of you having ethereal, I think, is very high. But more than that, it's like you need to feel connected to like what's spiritually important for you. You need to feel like like you are a wave on the ocean, like that kind, or like a cloud in the sky. Like there's a need for that. Like the material you wear probably needs to feel light on you. Your voice might be kind of soft. Again, I have like a friend who's got a lot of Pisces and Capricorn energy, which are very, very different. But imagine those two things coming together. Like she kind of like has all of this structure, and she has dramatic and ethereal in her essence blend. And so again, like it's not about just leaning into one area of who you are. It's about what does it mean for you to incorporate all of these things. And for ethereal, or for Pisces, like what matters is what makes you feel connected to the divine, what makes you feel soft, what makes you feel like you're flowing, what makes you feel like you are not tethered to the quote unquote real world. Like you need that as a part of your expression. So, okay. This was a lot. Hopefully, it lets me post this onto this page. Let me know what you guys think. Leave comments. I'm so excited to hear about what you all have to say. And again, if you're interested in a reading, just send me a message. So, okay, talk to you guys soon. Bye.